Brings us to the Prime Minister and the report by two select committees into his handling of the coronavirus pandemic in the earliest days. I think both of these select committees, and again, I probably should have double-checked before coming on air, I think they're both headed up by former Conservative members of Cabinet. I know Jeremy Hunt heads up the Health Select Committee. Let me double-check on that. But what I mean is that they are by no means biased. You know, you almost find yourself thinking this report is pretty damning, despite the fact that it is headed up by people who either have been or hope to be in Boris Johnson's cabinet, or at least in a Conservative cabinet at some point. It runs to 151 pages. And yes, having double-checked, I can confirm it was led by two former Conservative ministers, and it has been filed under the title Coronavirus Lessons Learned to Date. One of the earliest things to mention is that the lesson that you probably shouldn't let it run through the population in the hope of building up some semblance of herd immunity doesn't appear to have been learned, because they are currently doing that in our schools. But that is not contained within the report. 10:13 is the time. What is contained within the report is an accusation of groupthink, evidence of British exceptionalism. In many ways, if you were listening to this programme last March, you don't need to read the report. All of the stuff that we reported as fact and evidence-based criticism has now been confirmed by a report conducted by two former Conservative ministers. So what the hell has this got to do with the three things that could see me broadcasting my final programme on LBC? Well, honestly, I don't see how we have managed to create a country in which the people in charge can stand accused of such epic and fatal failure by their own colleagues and fellow party members. That seems pertinent to me. While the rest of us sit here absolutely certain that not a single head will roll. I find that actually inconceivable for fans of The Princess Bride. I really do. And it's another one of those mornings where you are the boiled frog, isn't it? It's another one of those mornings where you sort of, because it's a culmination, it's an acceleration, it's all happened incrementally. You arrive on Tuesday, the 12th of October, 2021. You know that we have one of the highest overall death rates in the world. You know that we still have, according to some measures, the highest number of new cases today. Don't talk about that anymore. But forget about the road ahead. Forget about the road beneath our feet at this moment in time. Look in the rearview mirror at the road behind. Look me in the eye and tell me you expect anybody to face punishment, never mind consequence, for an epic and fatal failure of public health on a scale that has never been seen before. Has arguably never been seen before in any civilised or comparably wealthy country. And I don't get it. I still don't get it. It's the Fifth Avenue thing. I really hope it isn't. But you remember when Donald Trump said that such is the nature of his cult, such is the unthinking sycophancy of his support, that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and not lose a single vote? I don't know how else to make sense of the fact that we've created a country in which a government can preside over what is described by their own colleagues as one of the, and again I would dispute the use of the phrase one of the worst public health failures in UK history, with ministers and scientists taking a fatalistic approach that, and I don't like this language either, exacerbated the death toll. If you don't mind, I'll run with killed people. Political decisions that left people dead. Family members of people we were speaking to at the time and will continue to speak to for a while to come. And because your scarf, your Boris Johnson or your Conservative or your Brexit scarf is now tied so tightly round your neck, you cannot take it off. And you have to sit there and either look the other way, make ludicrous noises about how, oh, he's tried his best, it's not his fault, or just hope that everybody else moves on soon. And I hate to say this because I love you in a Christian way. It's your fault that there will be no consequences. It's your fault that there will be no punishment. It's your fault that there will be no repercussions for this. You have created an environment in which politicians are allowed to claim that it's raining when we're in the middle of a heat wave. You have created an environment in which politicians are allowed to negotiate a protocol, celebrate it, receive a seat in the House of Lords as a reward for negotiating it, and then claim 6 months later that we need to renege on it, that it's absolutely awful and we've got to get rid of it quick. You have created that environment, and I don't know how we get out of it. And I don't even think that I can ask you that question today, because I don't think you've got any answers either. Although the phone number, should you choose to have a crack, is 0345 6060 973. So